go ahead and call the meeting to order. Can you call roll, please?
Browning.
Here.
Campbell. Guerrero. Here. Hilbert.
Here.
Leeper. Here. Stahl.
Here.
Wood.
Here. It's 6 o'clock.
Yep.
All right. Please answer "I will" to the following statements. You will solemnly swear, or will you solemnly swear, to faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Sangamon Valley School District in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability?
I will.
Will you respect taxpayers' interest by serving as a faithful protector of the school's district assets?
I will.
Will you encourage and respect the free expression of opinion of your fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees?
I will.
Will you recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting?
I will.
Will you abide by the majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels?
I will.
As part of the Board of Education, will you accept the responsibility for your role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district?
I will.
Will you foster the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Sangamon Valley?
I will.
Will you assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework?
I will.
Will you strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law?
I will.
Will you serve as education's key advocate on behalf of our students and our communities, schools to advance the vision for Sangamon Valley?
I will.
Will you strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in their areas of academic success, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development?
I will.
Congratulations. You are now official Sangamon Valley board members.
So now we need a motion to appoint the superintendent as president pro tem. Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
Second.
Josh Hilbert. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Now I need a motion to appoint Martha Leeper as secretary pro tem.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Matt Wood. Roll call, please.
All in favor?
Or all in favor, sorry, voice.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, do I have a nomination for board president?
I nominate Stephanie Guerrero. She is our most senior board member, and we have a very important job to do coming up. Our one job as a board to hire a superintendent, and I think she should continue to lead.
Okay. Is there another nomination for board president? If there are no more nominations for board president, nominations are closed. So at this time, I will need a motion to elect Stephanie Guerrero as board president.
So moved.
Motion by Matt Wood. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Jessica Browning. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. And at this time, the president-elect will take over.
Okay. So do I have a nomination for vice president?
Nominate Jeff Stoll.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for vice president? So at this time, the nominations will be closed. And, hold on, Jeff, I don't want to swear your name. Motion to elect Jeff Stahl as vice president. All in favor?
Oh, wait, we need a motion and a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was a nomination
But that's
by
the
Matt.
nomination, sorry. Is there a second? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Who's the first?
So you gave Matt the,
Matt Wood, and then Josh Hilbert.
Second.
Now all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Sorry about that. At this time, do I have a nomination for board secretary?
I nominate Martha.
Martha Leifert. Is there any other nominations for secretary? So at this time, the nominations are closed. Do I have a second?
Second.
Matt Wood. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. We need a motion to retain Erica Meadows as district treasurer. Motion made by Josh Hilbert. Is there a second?
second.
Martha Leeper. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And at this time, we need a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
Second.
Matt Wood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So at this time, I need to call the regular scheduled board meeting to order at 6:08.
Do you have a adjournment time on this one?
I didn't have it, but I see
I didn't either.
6:07.
I would say definitely 607.
Okay.
6:08 for this one. Can you call roll, please?
Browning. Here. Campbell. Guerrero.
Here.
Hilbert.
Here.
Leeper. Here. Stahl.
Here.
Wood.
Here.
And Ms. Wellbaum, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we have no visitors, and I need a motion to enter closed session for the reasons stated on the agenda. Motion made by Josh Hilbert. Is there a second?
Second.
Matt Wood. Call roll, please.
Guerrero.
Yes?
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes.
All right. So I need a motion to accept the closed session minutes as read in closed session. Does that Josh?
Yeah.
Sorry. Kendall was hard of hearing. And is there a second? Second. Jessica Brown, call roll please.
Stahl.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes.
Need a motion to accept the resignation of Bethany Wellbaum as primary school principal effective June 7th, 2023.
So moved.
So I'll go Martha Leeper first. Second, Jessica Browning. Call roll please.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Tony Nika as high school special education teacher effective May 24th, 2023.
So moved.
Motion made by Josh Hilbert, seconded by Matt Wood. Call roll, please.
Browning. Yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Angie Sharulik as high school National Honor Society sponsor effective May 24th, 2023. Jeff Stahl, is there a second?
Second.
Martha Leeper, call roll, please.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Nick Veely as middle school head boys basketball coach effective immediately.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Josh Hilbert. Call roll, please.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Wood. Browning. Yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Wood Hilbert.
Wood
Wood.
Hilbert.
Hilbert.
Motion to accept the resignation of Vanessa Templeton as middle school assistant girls volleyball coach, effective immediately.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, I'll second. Call roll, please.
Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Rachel Rutger as high school spring musical director, effective immediately.
So moved. Okay.
Motion Leeper, second Josh. Hilbert, call roll, please.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Jennifer Williams as an at-will custodian, effective May 26, 2023. Motion made by Jeff Stahl, is there a second? Matt Wood, call roll, please.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to employ James Marksberry as a permanent substitute teacher, effective at the beginning of the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second?
Second.
I don't know where that came from. Josh Hilbert, call roll, please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Leeper first.
Not Leeper, Hilbert.
Motion to employ Jessica Weitzel as a primary building interventionist, effective at the beginning of the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved.
I'll
Motion
second.
by
Matt.
Matt Wood, second Martha Leeper. Call roll, please.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero.
I'll abstain. Motion to employ Alexa Jones as National Honor Society sponsor at the beginning of the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second? Matt Wood, call roll, please.
Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes.
Motion to employ Tracy David,
Not Davis.
Yeah.
Oh.
David as an at-will transportation director, effective May 24th, 2023.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper. Is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, call roll, please.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Motion to employ Jake Short as an at-will custodian, effective May 8th, 2023.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, I'll second. Call roll, please.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to employ Stephen Ward as high school assistant girls basketball coach, effective at the beginning of the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Jeff Stahl,
Yep.
call roll, please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, did we get them all?
Yep.
All right, so you all received your consent agenda. I assume you've spoken to Bob if you had any questions. Is there anyone that has anything this evening to discuss about it? So I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Josh Hilbert, is there a second?
Second.
Martha Leeper, call roll please.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning, yes. Campbell. Oh, sorry,
No.
wrong one. Guerrero.
Yes.
Who is the second?
Me,
Leeper?
Leeper.
Hilbert, Leeper.
All right.
All right, superintendent's report.
I created this little document. It's probably a little bit easier and has the same information as the budget summary, maybe not as much detail. But,
Oh, and I put it in color. Okay.
well, and it's not quite accurate.
Oh,
And I'll explain why.
okay.
Um,
Did you give us this? Up here,
Yes.
I knew you
Yes.
shared it. There we go.
To start off with, the reason why this is a little bit different than what you're going to see here is that when I do the original budget, I have to do that before the August board meeting. And that's prior to the actual audit, where the auditors come in and look at everything. And then when that's all done and they present the audit to the district, they provide us with updated fund balance, beginning fund balances for the fiscal year. So like this year, I don't believe I had that information until probably about early October.
It was late this year.
Yeah, it was really late. So there are some discrepancies in the beginning fund balance. Some of them were very minute changes. Most of them were for the better. So just working across that, the actual audited fund balance for the ed fund at the beginning of the year was $1,296,203. Operation and maintenance was $525,579. Debt fund really stays unchanged. It was a little bit lower at $51,521. Transportation was at $769,848. IMRF Social Security together was $399,638. The 60 counter capital fund, the 1% sales tax fund, $980,321. Working cash was $1,867,701. Tort was at $235,045. And fire and safety, the last one, $231,393. I'll probably just touch on the larger funds, the education fund, operation maintenance, transportation, and the capital fund. I'll probably stick to just those. If you have other questions, we can certainly talk to them. But with the ed fund, I projected a revenue of $7,192,844. The amended revenue came in higher than that at $7,484,594. The majority of the expenditures, revenue for that came from the early childhood block grant, which was $235,000 of those additional funds. And then we will get our last bit of ESSER money in, and that chapter will be closed for good, thank goodness. But it did allow us, obviously, to buy a lot of technology during that time, and that's where the majority of our additional expenditures came from. The desktop computers that we bought, along with what seems like a mountain of Chromebooks and iPads. So that's where the additional expenditures come in, which I'll talk about next. My projected expenditures at $6,833,144. The amended expenditures it's going to be closer to $7,016,165. Originally, the difference between the two, we were going to add $359,700 to our ending fund balance. Instead, we're going to add $468,429 to our ed fund this year, and we will have a ending fund balance or beginning fund balance for FY23, however you want to look, or 24, however you want to look at it, at $1,764,632. Which I think when I took over, it was somewhere around $600,000. We spent a lot of it. We spent down. Then the pandemic happened, and we kind of rebounded on that. And then again, the personal property replacement tax, I put an additional $760,000 in that account just from the replacement tax this year. And we used to get in there right around $400,000 to $450,000 total in corporate personal property replacement tax, and now we're getting 1.5 million. So I did receive a letter today from the state that said that that is likely to taper back off. I don't think it will drop down to the numbers where we had when I first took over as superintendent, that $450,000 range. I hope we don't go down that low again. But I would kind of caution on any spending, any big items right now. I would also,
Do they have a statement as to why it's up and why it's tapering?
they've not had a statement to why it's up, and they blame the federal government and some tax code changes on why that might go back down. They're talking, if I read it correctly, maybe a 5% decrease. I hope that's all it is, because that would still put us at just over $1.4 million additional revenue coming in. So, even if the bottom fell out of that, our fund balancers are positioned that we could continue on the way we're going for quite some time. But again, I don't think we need to go crazy with it. And I also don't think it's time to start backing down the levy until we know for sure what's going to happen with that. The bad thing about backing off a levy is once you back it off, it's hard to ask for it back again. I mentioned it before, people aren't beating the doors down here to complain about their taxes, at least I don't hear it. So when it comes to that time again next year, I would probably recommend that we continue on along the same lines that we have been doing. Operation and maintenance is another large fund. It pays for our custodians, maintenance people, and then a lot of our improvements that we do come out of that and the capital fund. The revenue that I projected was going to be $1,026,749. The amended revenue is $1,115,112. Expenditures I estimated at $723,136. What I'm at currently is $660,574. That could go up a little bit before the end of the fiscal year, depending on how many of the summer projects that get paid out before the end of the fiscal year. So I'll keep you posted on where we are on that. The difference that I was expecting was around $300,000 added to operation and maintenance. It's going to be closer to $450,000, putting our ending fund balance at $980,117. $980,117. As I mentioned, the debt fund really doesn't change a whole lot. We move money in and out of that account to pay for our bonds.
Does the 1% money show up here somewhere?
1% money is the capital fund.
Capital.
Yes. Transportation revenue, I projected $889,342. The amended revenue is $821,771. I think there's still a chance that we may receive a little bit more money than the $821. According to Frizz, which is a website put out by ISB that shows what we're projected to receive, not only for transportation, but other things like evidence-based funding, title funds. All of those go through this Frizz account, and I can look up at any time how much they paid out and what they're projecting to pay out. So I'm basing this on what I know and what we currently have. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. If something changes, I'll obviously add to that, and I'll let you guys know about it. But our expenditures, I projected at $766,668. The amended expenditures came in below that. It's $701,988. The difference, what I projected was $122,000 roughly added to the transportation fund. The amended is $119,783, and the the ending fund balance at $889,631.
Have they been getting all the 4 payments or whatever?
Well, that's kind of changed since, I don't know if it was with the new comptroller or whatever, but what they do now is they just tell you in frizz what you're going to get. And whether that ever caught back up or not, no one really is going to know.
Do you get it quarterly though?
It does come in, I believe the transportation comes in on a monthly basis, but I could be wrong. I know that's one of them that I don't have to fill out an expenditure report for.
I remembered it being 4 payments a year and we only got 3 every year, but
Yeah, and then
Back
they
in the
would,
Yeah, I don't
Prorated
think it
days.
was definitely, was not monthly in years past.
but it has, that has changed and they don't do it, at least they don't show it in as a quarterly.
Easier way to disguise
Yes,
if
it
you're
could very
missing
well be.
something, you get some every month.
Yeah.
Thinking, woo.
Capital fund is the 1%. We took in, or I projected we were gonna take in $560,000 roughly in the sales tax. It was up to $585,395. Again, that's kind of a projection because I really won't know probably until mid-June or what that last payment's gonna look like, but based on prior history, it should come in at that dollar amount or a little bit higher. Expenditures out of that account, one of the large ones again is $583,000 that come out of that to pay off our loans. And then, well, it's not that high. That's included with the working cash, the 583. So it's probably closer to the 400,000 range that comes out of capital. And then we also take building expenses, any repairs, those sort of things we do. We can take it out of the capital fund or operation maintenance. The expenditures I projected at 695,525, and the amended expenditures came in a little bit lower than that at 658,878. And the difference is that I was planning that we would deficit spend in that account up to 135,000, and it is going to be probably a little bit closer to 72,000 in the red in that account. If the corporate personal property replacement tax holds, and I'll know a projection on that sometime in August. If that holds, what I might do is slide some more money into the capital fund just to keep that from going red each year. But when you do continue to do work and you take out your bond payments out of that, it doesn't leave a whole lot. So, but even with that, our capital fund is very strong at almost $1 million, $906,883. Working cash we've done nothing with other than we've added to it. The levy came in a little bit higher than what I thought. I thought we were going to bring in about $53,000 and it was over $60,000, $60,975. And our fund balance there is $1.9 million. And just as a reminder, working cash is kind of like the school district savings account. We can take money out of that if necessary to move to other funds. Last thing I do want to bring to your attention is tort. I usually try to figure out about what we're going to spend in that account, and I levy for that amount. I levied for $168,800. It came in a little bit higher at $171,653. But our expenditures were also up, mainly due to our residency / homeless / whatever, attorney fees, yes. So that's why we're in the red. I'll probably levy right around $170,000 again, and hopefully we will not have additional attorney fees. But we do have a little bit of a nest egg and toward it, $228,000, so.
I think, if I'm remembering right, we were renting last year as well, a little bit. Do we need to just, or do we need
I don't
to just go, I mean, can we anticipate that we're probably gonna have the legal fees and they're gonna keep increasing?
We could do that. It really wouldn't amount to a whole lot as far as, I mean, if I levied, let's just say, the $178,000, you're not going to notice that on your tax bill. It's not going to be enough to amount to anything. But we can certainly do that when it comes time.
You could just leave as is as well, correct?
We could leave it at around the 170,000 range and hope for the best. If something ever happened where we would have a large attorney fee or whatever, that's where I would come to you and say, we need to transfer money from working cash into.
To this one.
Yes. So we can look at the overall rate next fall and decide if it's going to impact it that much. But, so that's the amended budget. Updated budget with the updated fund balances, starting fund balances. It's all up in the office on display. It will be there until our meeting in June. For anyone that'd like to go take a look. And I always offer this to you guys if you ever want to look at it in more detail, if you want to see in more detail where our money comes from and what we spend it on, I would be more than happy to sit down and go through that with you guys. So that's all I have on the amended budget. Next on the superintendent's report, I have the employee health insurance renewal. Again, this is for discussion only. We usually do, we take care of this in June when we do our other insurance renewals. The association has reached out to me according to their contract. We have a committee, subcommittee of the board, which Martha and Stephanie are on. They would like to meet. I don't really know what we have to discuss, as Health Alliance is very similar in coverage to what we currently have. And
They want to meet specifically about insurance?
yes,
I think it's just something they're allowed to do to get the discussion out there before we take it to vote.
yes. Inherently, it is the board's decision. Contractually, I think we have agreed to pay up to $825 a month. So
For
anything,
this upcoming year.
yes, for the upcoming year, anything above that, if they wanted to go with Blue Cross Blue Shield for some reason, then all of that would be out of pocket for myself and any other employee that receives health insurance. So one thing Health Alliance said that they would do, which I think is a bonus,
It's a great thing.
they would, any deductible or out-of-pocket expense that is paid, that an employee has paid since January 1st, that will roll into the Health Alliance, where they'll not have to pay that again. They also will work with Springfield Clinic, which was a kind of a sticking point with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it impacted many of our employees, myself included. I went out and got another doctor. But this will give more options, I think, for our staff. So, I will speak with the association and figure out a time that we can meet. That'll have to be done prior to the June meeting, but we can set and go through it. Next, cooperative wrestling program. I just found out today that now we're looking at the possibility of it being hosted by Tri-City. It would still be a four-way cooperative with us, Tri-City, Riverton, and Mount Pulaski. I have no official proposal or anything, but that's kind of what we were looking at. I did include this document, I don't think I explained it to you in the board packet, but this is kind of a rundown of our numbers for all of our at least sporting extracurricular activities, I would call it. It gives a breakdown compared to last year, compared to this year, SV students versus Tri-City students, and you know, really all of them are pretty strong with soccer. Boys and girls soccer probably being the lowest participants.
Basketball is rough.
Girls basketball,
If that's 14 total for JV and varsity,
yes.
that's low.
Mhm.
That's almost down back where we were when we co-op. That's where
Well, we didn't have 9, I don't believe, when
it was 9, yeah. I think was the total, right?
we barely had enough to, we couldn't scrimmage, I remember that, with just our girls. The numbers aren't great. Adding another program, one of the things we'll have to consider would be busing. We're having a difficult time finding people to take extra trips. We're losing drivers faster than we can train drivers and pick them back up. So that would be something to consider. And I also think at some point we need to set a limit. And not that if we say, okay, we have 5 kids to participate in the program, that we're going to say we'd have to have 5 kids. If it drops below 5 kids, we're dropping off. If you go into a cooperative agreement, then you're in for 2 years. And then we could, you guys will in a couple of years, take a look at the numbers and decide if you want to continue on or not. But I think at some point we have to have interest.
And he's still working on determining interest right now.
Yes, I think right now, he said that I think he has 4, including 8th graders that will be coming over as freshmen next year.
And so which school proposed this? Tri-City and Riverton together?
I think Tri-City and Riverton began the initial talks, and then they talked about Riverton hosting it, but then when I think they looked at the possibility of bringing Mount Pulaski in the mix, they thought maybe Tri-City would be a more centralized location. It would help us tremendously for busing and that sort of thing if it were at Tri-City, but we'll see. When I get more information, I'll bring it to you guys.
What is high school wrestling season?
It's about the same as high school boys basketball season.
Okay.
So if we're running a bus over there for basketball, in theory, they could also ride over.
Do we have any numbers from the other schools? There's Dave and there.
That's what I'm wondering too. I'm guessing that they don't have a whole lot of interest either. That's why they're trying to get a lot more schools.
That would be accurate.
Tornado, hot toppers.
Riverton had been
That's
coalescing
nice.
with Williamsville, and I think Williamsville got big enough to where they didn't need Riverton anymore. And Riverton's program had always been small, even when I was there. You know, you have a few standouts. So they were always struggling for numbers, is why they co-opted Williamsville. But it sounds like they had a few at Tri-City and a few at Mount Pulaski that were maybe interested, so.
Mount Pulaski had their own program back. That was my first teaching and coaching job in 1989-90. Was at Mount Pulaski. I was probably the worst wrestling coach of all time.
I was saying, when you retire, you could be a wrestling
No.
coach.
I will say, there is plenty of youth leagues locally that are starting to add, like, wrestling at the younger levels, so there may be interest.
And I talked to Dave Fleming about that. If we have to have it at the lower level, some sort of club participation, really, for this to go anywhere. Well, we'll just have to see. And
So,
then,
in order to get this done and have a thing next year, what would the deadline be? Like the beginning of school?
yeah, I think
September-ish?
it's in, I think it might even be as early as mid-August. So it would be something we would have to have a proposal and agree to either at the June or July board meeting.
The other thing is how many schools
have a thing that's actually gonna be.
We'd have to, your schedule, how would your schedule be,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know our conference that we're currently in, for basketball, I don't know how many of those schools have wrestling. I'll see if I can get that information from Mr. Fleming and I'll share it with you.
Because that's all fairly small, but Riverton's in a different,
For Sangamon, so I'm sure that they
But
have. a
whoever would be the
schedule for
host,
Sangamon
would
stuff.
be Tri-City, right?
but MSM, the likelihood of having any wrestling programs in MSM is slim to none, I think.
Conference approval too.
Yeah. So you might have to get approval to pay in a conference and practice at a different school.
Seems like a lot of work.
We don't have to do it. Good luck, guys. Okay.
And the last, the job openings, as I mentioned in closed session, we have, we're setting up interviews for Ms. Wellbaum's position. And we're also in the process of interviewing for the opening, the teaching position opening at Harristown. We do have some other extracurricular openings. Middle school boys basketball head will be open. Assistant volleyball will be open. I'm sure that there's others, and I had planned to bring a list and that did not make it into my stack. I'll let you know by the time we get to June of what, hopefully we'll have all of those positions filled before the June board meeting. Well, that's all I have for the superintendent's report.
Okay. So we can move on to new business. We want to just go straight in and get the motion to accept that we just talked about the budget.
Yeah, we just talked about the tenant budget and I recommend that you accept that. And as I mentioned, we'll be on display for 30 days in the unit office.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept the tentative amended 2022-2023 district budget as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second? Hannah Wood, call roll please.
Stahl?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Browning?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes, Hilbert?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes.
And then we need to set a hearing for the amended budget. So I need a motion to set the hearing for the amended 22-2023 district budget as part of the regular board meeting on June 21st, 2023 at 6 p.m.
So,
Motion made by Jeff Stahl, was that a
I'll
second by
second.
Martha Leeper?
Yes.
Call roll please.
Wood?
Yes.
Browning?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Hilbert?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes. Stahl?
Yes.
Floyd Associates have been our auditors long before I was superintendent. As I mentioned in my report to you guys, they are very easy to work with. They're very beneficial to both Carol and I. If we need something, they're available. So I would recommend that you hire Floyd Associates for our 23-24 audit at a cost not to exceed $15,000.
Do I have a motion? Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second? Jeff Stahl, call roll please.
Browning?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Hilbert?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes. Stahl?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes. The superintendent evaluation instrument. That's next. Do you want to talk about it a little, or?
Yeah, I think I brought it up last meeting and I sent it all to you guys, recently, yesterday probably. So just looking, I thought it would be something that would be, kind of streamline our process, make it a little bit more, conducive to our goals for what we're judging our superintendent on, and, just be able to benefit us as a district as a whole. I guess, does anybody have any questions on what I sent yesterday?
Oh, there it is.
Basically, it's I think it was $1,800 platform fee, and then a one-time onboarding fee of $395. Then of course there would be that fee yearly,
Which one?
The 1,800. Yeah, the 395 just to get everything input. And then I guess my thought process is if we can, kind of like we've done in the past, we've, taken part in ISB programs to do board self-evaluations and goal setting and that kind of thing. And once we learn the process and we learn what we're wanting to do and the goals we're wanting to hit, maybe it's something that after a couple of years we can make our own product and not have to pay that fee any longer. But
So someone comes and meets with us to get this created, to get our rubric created?
you can do that, yes, or you're just purchasing and if they have their standards online. But yes, he does.
Is that included in the?
There, yeah, there is no additional charge.
Okay.
Would make, is it your, that was a lot of our job to evaluate, but you're the one that puts it all together. Would it make that easier for you to, I see.
I think the evaluation itself will be more comprehensive in that I think it's been pretty basic before. This was kind of more goal-oriented and directed, and has, like, what did we have before? 10, 12 questions, I don't even remember what were on there. But it's a little bit more in-depth, but also dealing with what we're trying to do as a school, as an admin team, that kind of thing.
I like the way you provided a sample evaluation. I like the way that's laid out. That's so much easier than just
Right.
open-ended, what do you think, and you write in.
Mhm.
This,
Yes.
yeah, I like this.
And I think it would then go, obviously, Mr. Meadows would give us the information throughout the year with the end information in May, then it goes out to all of you to review, for us to go through and send back to him the evaluation instrument. And essentially, some districts are using it, they said, to do their whole admin teams and stuff, or they base something similar for their admin teams. But that's an additional charge, of course. I'm just trying to get ours, I think ours has been pretty lacking for use
Bare
of
bones,
better
simple.
word, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've always used it since I came on board. yeah.
Rudimentary.
Yes. So, just looking to just try to kind of get us directed more towards our goals, setting some goals, and evaluating those as a whole from the top down. That's my goal. Look at me. How many times can I say goals in one
I was up
evening?
to 50.
Okay, thank you.
Speaking of goals,
Speaking of goals.
I would think it'd be beneficial at some point. I know it's not going to be me, but a meeting with the community again, like we did back in, I believe it was the spring of 16. We're going to get to a point if the corporate personal property replacement tax, if that stays where it is, and we'll have a couple of years, maybe before the new superintendent is seated, and maybe you get to that point, maybe in the spring, what would that be, 26? Of doing that, something like that again, where you would open it up to the public, and because you're going to have a substantial bank account, and at that point you can start thinking, well, do we want to continue to bank and look at the possibility of a new school at the end of the lifespan of these buildings, which they're not going to last forever, but I think with the improvements that we've done, we may have to hit a roof or something at some point, but I think you're gonna get the 16 years out of them that we need to get the current bonds paid off. And then maybe at that point, the state could come in and maybe there'll be a consolidation incentive again, or maybe there will be matching funds to build a new school. But at some point, we're going to have to do something, and I think bringing the community into that and helping to make that decision, you could have a plan of what you want to do with those funds for the next, at that point, 14, 15 years. So I think it's a good time to start working on this, and then with the new superintendent.
Great, and
Take
I
it
think
to
that
the
was
next
a
level.
good meeting, and it was very, set us on our path of our first set of goals for our 3-year goals, and we got a lot done out of that meeting, so.
So the intent of this program is not only just for superintendent, but also for the use of building administrator.
You can use it for, yes, yes.
We're just looking to use it for
We're
us
using
right
it for
now.
superintendent. Because they have a
We have
rubric,
an instrument.
an instrument that they're using that he uses to evaluate them. We don't really have that. Same thing since day one when I came on in, I don't know, 1910, what year was that, 2011, whatever. It's been that same thing that I handed out to you guys, since then. So, and I assume for many, many years prior to that would be my guess. So it would be to use for the superintendent, and then they can judge from there if it's something they like better than what they're currently using for their admin software, or, do you guys have software, or is it just strictly rubric-based software?
It's just paper rubric.
So,
And it did say in there, I'm reading that the board goals and the superintendent goals should be the same. So that would be a good tool to use to start with it. And then get community input and move on from there.
Any other questions? So I need a motion to purchase the superintendent evaluation software from Super Eval for an amount not to exceed $21.95.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second?
I'll second.
Jeff Stahl. Call roll, please.
Guerrero,
Yes?
Hilbert,
No.
Leeper, yes. Stahl,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
I presented the board meeting schedule to you guys last month just for a review. I did not hear anybody saying that they were, obviously things come up during the school year where you may not be able to attend a meeting, and that's absolutely understandable. But I didn't hear from anybody that we needed to make changes to this or that they thought it was necessary. The August, the second Wednesday, kind of keeps us away from that first week of school when administrators and teachers are coming back and having open houses and that sort of thing. So I think that's a good practice. With the later start of the school year, the principals could bring their handbook changes to the August meeting, and we could get it approved, any changes approved at that point, and then they would be online for the start of the school year. So that's something else that, the earlier meeting will allow us to do, as opposed to having them try to do it in July when they're off. And then an early meeting in December because of the Christmas holiday, and then for the budgetary purposes, the amended budget, the early meeting in May. So unless somebody wants to change that, I would recommend that you approve that as presented.
Are you gonna get us a copy of that next meeting?
Yeah,
Or in our
well,
packet?
Yes.
Okay. So motion to approve the 2023-2024 board meeting schedule as presented. Motion made by Josh Hilbert, is there a second? Matt Wood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Every year we agree to, with Macon Pike Regional Office of Education, to offer our kids some sort of safe school. Since the passing of Senate Bill 100, unless the student is an absolute danger to the students, we have to provide some sort of, it's a drug charge or something like that, we have to provide some sort of alternative education. I think both Milligan Academy and the Futures programs have continued to improve since I was principal. There are good people in those positions running it. I think quality people in the classroom as well. And it does give our kids an opportunity that for whatever reasons, just can't seem to make it in a normal school setting, and that gives them an option to continue on and to get a high school diploma. So I would recommend that you approve both the Milligan Academy and Futures Unlimited agreements with the ROE.
So I need a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Macon Pyatt ROE to provide Safe School Milligan Academy and Truant Alternative Optional Education Futures Unlimited programs for the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, I'll second. Call roll, please.
Let's see, where do I want to start? Browning?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes?
Hilbert?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes. Stahl?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Leeper?
I mean-
Guerrero.
Next up, I have some construction bids to go through with you guys. The dumpster pad at Heliopolis, you've seen the pictures of how torn up the back drive is getting over there. We're proposing to put a very heavy duty, not only pad, but an approach to the pad because as the trucks pick up the dumpsters, they're just destroying. I'll probably end up, we'll see how this one works, and I might recommend we put one over at Harristown as well. The ones here at the high school seem to be holding up okay, but we really need to do something, and I'm proposing to move them out closer to the restrooms. I know the custodians are not going to like it, have to drag your trash all the way over there, but I've always liked to have a kind of a clean line of sight. We have PE kids coming in and out of those doors when the weather's fit, and it'd be nice for them to be able to go out of the building and have a clear line of sight, and not have dumpsters sitting right there at the back door also. This will kind of kill two birds with one stone, get the dumpsters away from the building, and it will then at that point repair the damage that's been done to our current drive. I would recommend that you approve that.
Okay, so motion to hire Hutchins Excavating to build a dumpster pad at the Illiopolis campus at a cost not to exceed $9,200.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, call roll please.
Guerrero?
Yes?
Hilbert?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes. Stahl?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Browning?
As I mentioned, I forgot to add this to the summer work items. The ramp that connects the middle school to the long hallway that runs to the gymnasium. There was a wooden ramp that was built. I would assume it was built at 69 when the addition was put on. And it's probably a combination of just normal foot traffic, but also the fact that we at times have to run this scissor lift from one gym to the other to do work. I think that has also taken a little bit of toll on this, but what we're proposing is that our staff will demo the existing ramp, the wood ramp that's there, and then Hutchins will come in and pour a concrete ramp in its place. So there will be some backfill and some concrete work that will be done there, and then we'll tile over
This
over
isn't,
that.
is this the hallway itself, the one that moves when you walk between the two buildings? Okay.
That very one.
Ramp confuses me, so that's why I
Well-
was thinking it was,
It goes up and then it goes into what I assume is an actual concrete
floor.
floor. So there's a space between the middle school and before you get to that actual concrete floor, there's a,
Yeah, I've always wondered what we're gonna fall through and find there, but I didn't know what it was made of and why it was so.
So they're gonna backfill and then put concrete on top. I think you're tying to the walls with concrete or just free flow or?
I don't know the specifics of what they'll do as far as the rebar and attaching it to the side of it.
No, okay, here, it was getting like. I was just thinking if you floated, like just thinking.
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
And then you're
Impact
tiling as part of the summer work over the
Yeah,
top of it.
I'll have to get a quote for that, but it shouldn't amount to too much, and I might see if, we got a couple middle school classrooms that we'll be doing, I'll see if Boeing and American can do it while they're there.
Okay. So motion to hire Hutchins Excavating to replace the gym hallway ramp at the Illiopolis campus at a cost not to exceed $6,000.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second?
Second.
Josh Hilbert, call roll please.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
I also provided you a quote from Hutchins for the sidewalk replacement of the intermediate building. It would be on the west and it kind of L shapes around on the south side and then continues on out to the blacktop area there. I believe the only time that's used would be like under emergency type situations that they had to get out of a,
Are you talking about like right in front of where those sheds are?
no, back over on the other side.
Okay.
The west side, if you would go out the back door of the kitchen,
Okay.
you would run into that sidewalk. It is pretty uneven, it's pulled away from the building. Hutchins gave a bid, I believe it was for $12,500, $12,900. To do that, I said I would get a bid from Jack Slab, but I also said if it wasn't considerably cheaper, then maybe we just buy once, cry once. But it is considerably cheaper.
What's the warranty on something like that? Do
They have a 10-year
10-year
warranty to keep the walk level.
level?
The only thing he cautioned me about is that it would not pull the sidewalk up so far that it would completely close the gap between the sidewalk and the building. But he said if we brought it into some sort of dry silica type sand and compacted it into the crack, and then he also gave me a brand name of a self-leveling caulk that you could put in after the silica that would keep water from getting in there and then maybe deteriorating the work that we've just done. So I think we ought to try it.
I would say, I think for the cost of a 10-year warranty, that's probably a
Not
nice
bad.
savings, yeah. Okay, so motion to hire Jack Slab Construction for sidewalk repair at the intermediate building at a cost not to exceed $32.50. The construction part of me also asks, they did a prevailing wage and no tax, correct?
Correct.
So, does anybody have a motion? Motion made by Jeff Stahl, is there a second? Matt Wood, call roll please.
Stahl.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes.
How is Hutchins gonna get concrete to the hallway?
The double door back there at the,
I know, but we just put that in concrete approach.
We have concrete buildings in here.
They have buckets that they.
I know he's gonna pump it, or I just didn't want to do it on the concrete.
It might be easier to go into that double door that kind of empties out between the middle school wing and the gym.
Mhm.
I don't know, I haven't really discussed the logistics of how he's gonna get the concrete in there, but that would certainly be an option.
that's not the area where the new concrete is, right? At the double door? There's a double door off the back of it too, isn't there?
Really, right there, there's a double door, that'd be difficult to get anything in that goes towards the old gym. And then a double door in that hallway that goes in between the gym and the middle school wing. And then, I don't know, maybe he'll truck it right in. There's another double door almost directly in front of that hallway. There's a little bit of a jog to the right, but
That's where I thought he would come in, as long as he reinforces it, puts plywood down or something like that. Shouldn't do any damage.
well, if he does, he's a good person to fix it.
Yeah, yes. I just think that's a lot of weight. It's
Himself.
a weird place to get to.
Yeah.
It might be difficult to get concrete in there, but I think
There's a window right there too, isn't there?
door,
Because he
window,
could- I mean, I don't know, it's up to them how to do it.
Yeah, it's their problem. I'm
They
just
could come in through the
thinking-
window with one of the pump trucks.
Don't want to
or
get
something.
damaged concrete
Yes.
while coming to fix concrete.
Yeah.
Job
You said for
security.
that sidewalk for the second door coming out.
Yeah.
but,
Okay,
ISB Joint Annual Conference. You guys have to decide if you wanted to attend that this year. As I said in your report, I recommend that you guys go to. I think it's a good chance for professional development for you guys, and it's the least the district could do. Pay for that weekend for you guys for your services. So it is something that the board has to agree to spend the money on, but that's why we do this.
Okay.
Wait a second, did I give you a place to?
Yes, you did. Motion to approve the board to attend the IASB Joint Annual Conference on November 17th to the 19th, 2023. Motion made by Jessica Browning. Is there a second?
Second.
Martha Weaver, call roll please.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Leeper, yes, Stahl.
Yes.
And I think that's really all we have. The hearing for the amended 2022-2023 budget will be held on June 21st at the regular meeting, 6 p.m. We'll begin, the other meeting will begin directly after. We need to do a special board meeting for press policy update and potential new hires, is what you're wanting to do that, right? So your original date was,
I thought we said possibly May 31st. It might give us more time if maybe we could try something the first week of June instead.
okay? So, first week of June is the 5th, week of the 5th. So are you thinking a Wednesday again, or would it
Whatever,
be the 7th?
whatever works best for you guys. I'll do whatever. I will get, whatever you pick, I'll try to get something arranged from Airmark to maybe do a sample dinner for us. We can do dinner and we can start a regular meeting, have closed session. And hopefully I'll have a new principal and a teacher to hire. And then we can do the policy.
So does anybody, or is anyone unable to do the 7th?
The 6th would work better than I can make the 7th. I just gotta miss the baseball game. Charlotte Light.
Hold on.
We have T1, T2 on the agenda.
I have two baseball games that night. One here and one down Pleasant.
Do we want to do a Monday evening,
Good.
the 5th?
I have baseball.
7th would work better than Monday.
Okay. Matt, you good?
I'm wide open. Actually, I'll be right out back that night, so it's fine.
Okay. So you pick your date. What's best for you, 7th? Okay,
I'm free any day.
so,
So are we doing the 7th? Then, June 7th?
sure. At 6,
Can we start at 5:30?
5:30?
We can have dinner at 5:30 and then whatever time that ends, we can move on with our lives.
June 7th.
Yeah.
June 7th at 5:30. Probably do dinner in the cafeteria again and then come down for the meeting.
And then we'll have 2 weeks before the next meeting. Okay? So you want to have anything else before we adjourn?
Share something real quick, exciting.
Sure.
I just wanted to share our 7th grade boys for our track won this trophy this past weekend, so they made champions. That means they get to go to state, and so they're leaving Friday to represent our middle school. So I just think that's a big accomplishment. And actually, the majority of the 7th graders are actually 6th graders that are competing. So we have a really strong 6th grade boys that are able to participate. So I think that's a cool thing.
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited to share that we made state. So
In the track by the time we get to high school.
Yeah, on the track, there you go, there's your money. Update us when, after state, so we can.
yeah, definitely
see
will.
how that
Get
goes.
some pictures up and everything. I know they're super duper excited. We had them come down and celebrate today. So
They've been coming up to me in the lunchroom too, and I'm like, I qualified in this many events and this many events, and it's cool because I don't too.
yeah, it's really cool. So
I think they got a banner also.
oh, did they?
I believe it's similar to the banners we've had, so at some point it may be worth redesigning the banner locations in that gym. They're all.
I'm not creative, but I would more than.
They're all sporadically just on
I
the
would,
walls.
that
So-
brand new
Nice.
fancy wooden wall we put up, might not be a bad place. It'd be relatively easy, we wouldn't have to drill out any mortar or block or anything like that, it's just all.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody has any design ideas, I'm sure that we can take care of that.
Okay, so before we go, the hearing for the amended budget will be held on June 21st at 6 p.m. with the regular meeting to follow. And then we will have a special board meeting for policy, press policy update 111 on June 7th at 5:30. And I need a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Justin Drowning, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. 7:33.